Woo! Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to raise your hand in the comments section if this is you. You oftentimes think about things in just extremes. It's either I do it or I don't. Or I'm going to be successful at it or I'm not. And this line of thinking enters into your decision making as you approach the things that you want in life. You know, this is going to come into play very soon because I'm sure most of you are making your New Year's resolutions, which I just did a video on and explaining why I don't believe those are actually the best thing for us. But nonetheless, this is a conditioning thing that most of us have done at some juncture in our life. But when it comes down to our line of thinking, our black and white with no room for gray, this oftentimes sets us up for failure, okay? Now, I did use the word failure as the way most people would. I don't believe there is any failure, but just so that we're all on the same page, meaning something didn't go as to plan, right? Which can be a lesson for us, but most of us view that as being a failure. This is really super important because oftentimes we'll sit back in the sidelines wanting to do something, wanting to take action on something, but we won't because we view it as we have to do it perfectly, or we're afraid to fail, or it has to be either this way or that way. When most of life is really a large shade of gray. And practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. I'll say that one more time. Practice does not make perfect because there is no perfect. Practice makes permanent. And one of the things that I strive to do in my coaching business is when I'm coaching with clients and I see that there's this all or nothing aspect, is really just trying to ask questions to kind of bring people towards the gray. Doing something is better than doing nothing. As it relates to your health and fitness, focusing on one habit, whether that be to eat more protein, drink more water, get more sleep, focusing on that and doing it consistently over and over and over again is better than doing nothing. You don't have to do all the things. So thinking that you have to do meal prep and you have to, completely cut out all the foods that you love, you've got to sleep 8 hours a night and you've got to still raise your kids and still go to your job, it becomes overwhelming, right? So again, this isn't about doing everything perfectly because there is no perfect. So what do? Okay, well, recognizing your strengths is super important to getting out of this black or white line of thinking because this is all about how you feel about yourself. You have strengths, whatever those may be. I tend to fall back on my strengths as a person. I'm very consistent at most everything that I do, and that's the reason why I can be successful at certain things, because I will be consistent at it. I may not be great at it, but I will be consistent with it. Also, I'm very reliable. So I can rely upon myself. People can rely upon me. So I go back to what my strengths are. You go back to what your strengths are. You have them, I promise. No one is void of having strengths. We just have to be aware of them and to acknowledge them to ourselves. Back to the perfect thing. Understanding that nothing is perfect. Right now, we've got moms that are trying to do all the Christmas shopping, wrap all the Christmas presents, go to work, feed the kids, make sure the kids are safe, and do all these things. And then it's like, okay, well, we expect all these things to be perfect. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But understanding that it doesn't have to be, that there is levels of gray, I think is truly beneficial to us to get out of this mindset so we don't set ourselves up for suffering. And then the last thing is, understanding that in every situation there are positives, no matter what it is. And I think being able to reframe and ask ourselves the question, what is something that I can take positively and associate from this situation? No matter what it may be, whether it's a breakup, whether it's you lost your job, whether it's you didn't achieve the New Year's resolution that you set at the beginning of the year, What is it that you learned? What is a positive that you can associate with it? Again, this helps us break that all or none mentality, because we think, okay, I didn't lose 50 pounds, I am a failure. Okay, well, what positively did you learn over this experience? Did you reveal something about yourself that could be of value as you move forward? Super important, okay? These are the things that you don't do. You don't focus on your faults and try to relate it back to the past. Your brain's job is predict and protect. So based on your past experiences, your brain's job is to try to predict something that is going to happen. It doesn't know, it can't tell the future. It's not Nostradamus. Understanding that and not focusing on our faults, the things that we don't do well. Okay, focus on the things that we do well. And not using conditional terms such as never or nothing. Okay, it's not all or nothing. It can't be that, because if it all or nothing, most of us would never do anything. Taking a little bit of action is better than taking no action. I bring this up because this comes up a lot, because we tend to be, as humans, we think we have to be perfect and we cannot fail, which means it can either be this or be that, because it's very easy for us to associate two things versus a multitude of things. But understanding that if you come just a little bit into the pool, okay, you're going to get, you dip your toes in the pool, okay, it becomes a little less cold, and then all of a sudden you get your legs in, you get your body in, and all of a sudden you're in the pool having fun, right? This is a very terrible analogy that I'm using for this, but again, it is about coming towards the middle, okay, and ultimately getting to a place and a spot that you want to be in. But breaking the ties that bind us and these social conditioning of things have to be this way or they have to be that way, doesn't have to be that way. Okay? This is a super important lesson for us as we lead on into the new year, because many of us are going to have this line of thinking, and then all of a sudden the things that we want to do, they're not going to get accomplished. So if this was anything of value to you, please drop something in the comment section. If this is something that you struggle with and you'd love to have a conversation with me and we can work our way through some of this stuff, also drop it in the comment section or just shoot me a DM. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Hope everybody has a great day. We'll see you.